Hello and welcome to All the Pies. My name's Si, that is Kev, and this is the preview of last night's destruction of Everton. I don't want to copy Jason Cundy off TalkSport, but Tony Bellew, Sylvester Stallone, Judi Dench, who is it? Wayne Rooney, every fucking daft Liverpool indie band, that wifey who eats out of the Gladys Street bins. Your lads took one hell of a beating.
God, he scored so many goals.
I do enjoy those little bits. Has anybody seen Everton?
I had my own bit there, the funnier bits at the end.
Good.
All the tramps in Liverpool. Well, Kevin, how are you feeling today?
Glorious.
Yeah,
glorious. I'm starting to believe. Like I'm looking at the table. I know we're going to get into it a little bit more, but like I'm just like, I woke up this morning. I'd had a couple of beers watching the match. Well, I nearly didn't see the game because
you're going to watch some chick flick.
No, it wasn't even a chick flick. It was Cabaret with Liza Minnelli.
I thought she was dead.
No, it's like from years and years ago. So it was on at the Star and Shadow, and I promised I would go. But my girlfriend wasn't feeling too well, and
were you like, get in?
I was like,
in for the win.
I was like, oh well, if you're not well, we can just go another time. I was really looking forward to it, but get in.
Yeah, I'd much rather go and see Liza Minnelli sing about fucking Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome, im cabaret or cabaret, than otherwise see fucking Everton little scumbags getting smashed all over. Yeah, let's get fucking. I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm fucking ready. I am ready.
Okay, let's go.
Proper ready today.
All right.
There's been a fire lit up inside of me yesterday. Like I've got the match report, which I will to help us out, because I was going nuts last night. It was just such a fantastic win. Made all the better. I haven't finished yet, Kevin.
Sorry.
Made all the better by the behaviour, and you want me to add this disclaimer in? Not all. Yeah, well, no, not all. But the behaviour of a lot of Everton fans, the disgusting behaviour, talking about bashing disabled people, bashing women. Oh, we'll push the team bus in. We'll smash all the coaches up. Oh, there's people on Twitter who've got blood in their hands. One Geordie down. Well, fuck yous. Fuck the lot of yous. Yous got absolutely demolished. Demolished. And I hope you enjoy the Champions League. Ye and Sunderland playing together. Rat munching, seagull fucking horrible set of fan base bastards. Go on, Kevin.
Well, it'll be us enjoying the Champions League, not them. They'll be enjoying the Championship.
I said Championship, didn't I?
No, you didn't. Nah,
so I can't stand up anymore. I mess me words up. All the medication I'm on, man.
And I'm going to be the voice of reason, because do you know what it is? To be fair, I'm sure there is a large majority.
Go on.
Fuck them.
Well, you say for them, Kevin. Just so you go down there, have a can of Coke.
Do you know what it is? There is some Everton fans that really get on my nerves, and there's a particular channel that really does get on my nerves. That loves to look in the past and go, "Well, a much bigger fucking team. Well, a much bigger team than fucking Newcastle. Look at what we've won." It's not the past; it's the present. Yeah. And I agree with a lot of what you say. There is a large amount. Now I know Everton had put a lot of stuff out saying, we're going to war and this is, and yes, in sport and football terms.
We've got blue smoke bombs. Come on, lad.
You know what it is? No, do you know what it is, right? For the fans that do it properly and correctly, then I've got no problem with that. The bits I've got problem with is the bits that you've called out, is the ones that turn it into violence. Those are the ones that have to turn what could be like a really good night and a good show of support into something that's really annoying.
Yeah. I just think that the Northwest fan bases are just violent and not humorous.
I must especially say, Si, you have had a bee in your bonnet since this came around, because we chatted on the last video saying there's not really a rivalry, but there is a few fans who want to try and create the rivalry, and I think you are one of them. I'm going to stop you, Si. I'm getting feedback.
Any better?
Let's have a listen. Yeah, that's much better. That's much better. And if it's
Good.
not, then people will just have to fucking live with it.
Yeah.
But and you know what it is? It was what I get what they were trying to do. They probably missed the mark a little bit with where they were wanting to go, and they did create a bit of an atmosphere within the match. And well, should we just get into what we thought about the actual match now?
Yeah, I can hardly hear you now. I'm gonna have to turn it back up a little touch
Okay.
because I'm a bit deaf. I should really get like a head section now, like or like proper cans, as they call them in the industry.
Oh, cans, eh?
Yeah.
Speaking of cans, eh? Speaking of cans, eh? Hashtag cans.
Yeah. So yeah, right. We'll start off with before I do that, shout out Adam Pearson. I haven't always been a fan of him in the past, but that kid's got some fucking gonads on him going undercover amongst the Everton fans when the coaches were arriving amongst all the blue smoke. After all the threats he got, he went undercover, just him on his Todd amongst the Everton fans. That kid's got some balls.
I've never seen that, and do you know, I've always liked Adam Pearson. There's something about him. I don't know what it is. He's got a certain little cheeky charisma, and he does have kahunas. And if that's what he's done, then good lad, Adam P.
Because you know what, I wouldn't have done that. Even before I was disabled and before I was like a parent, when I was his age in my 20s, I wouldn't have done that. And I fucking know for a fact I was a lot bigger, and probably, I'd been in more riskier situations in my life from living in North Shields than Adam Pearson. And even I would have been like going into fucking into the war zone full of fucking scousers that could have anything on them, because you know what they're like. And Adam Pearson has went in the middle of it. Fucking shout out to him. Good on you, kid. Even though you've ignored messages to jump on the channel, doesn't matter. I respect you. I respect you for that, mate. I really fucking do.
No, so I've never seen that, and I respect that as well. That I've seen a few videos where Adam P shows his kahunas, and he's a good lad. And do you know what it is? He gets a bit of stick sometimes, and I don't think some of it's all intentional stick. Like when he goes to away games, people they'll come over and they'll kiss him and they'll grab him and stuff like that. That would piss me off. And he always keeps
but that's part and parcel of videoing in front of all the fans who are full of fucking drinking gear. That's going to happen, isn't it? That's why me and you do this in the house, because we're old and grumpy. I couldn't bear being touched by people like putting the arm around you and talking in your lug, and I couldn't bear it. But that's what he does. That's his role. He's got to take some of it on the chin, unfortunately.
And he
seems to have done it. The older he gets, the more mature he gets. This is not a fucking Adam Pearson loving by any means, but yeah. Shout out to him anyway. I think that was fucking great. So yeah, the beginning, I was on Twitter all day yesterday, just living on Twitter, just helping stoke it and getting involved and getting wound up and getting having banter and just all the emotions. I was on it all day. I kept saying to you, "Stop reading us on Twitter, man." So I saw Keith Downey posted the blue smoke. Obviously, at the time, didn't know top shagger Adam P was amongst it all. But that was I was watching all the build up. And then the team sheets came out, and I was like, oh, hold on, what? So we had Burn out, Target in. We had Murfinho out, Miggy in. And we had Isak out, Wilson in. My initial thoughts, I'll not lie to you, were, what the fuck have we done here? Why replace a team that has absolutely destroyed the carcass and smashed the bones and fucked the skull of Tottenham? Why replace that team? Do you know why change it? They all seem to have a good rest. Why change it? Especially when you know how fired up the Scouse little pigeon people are going to be. You know, why change it? That was my initial thoughts. I was a little bit concerned. Obviously, we'll find out later in Eddie We Trust, as always. But what was your thoughts?
Well, yeah, those were the three surprises, weren't they? And I mean, look, Eddie Howe talked before the game. I watched the the build up, and he got interviewed before the game, and with Dan Burn, he said, he was feeling a bit under the weather. He wasn't, and there was an interesting thing actually. He said he corrected himself, and it's not often you see Eddie correct himself. He says we thought he wasn't quite ready, and then he stopped and went, well, he thought he wasn't quite ready. And that's the first time I've seen Eddie Howe sort of correct himself, and I thought, like, was it Eddie saying we don't think you're fit enough, or did Dan Burn and turn around and say that he's possibly not fit enough? And I would probably think it was the latter, because I think he would have been picked. And if it was a case that he wasn't feeling 100%, then good on Dan Burn, because there's a passion of wanting to play and not want to lose your place. But if you don't feel 100%, it takes a big character to turn around and say, actually, Gaffer, you know what it is? I don't want to jeopardize anything. It's a big game. We've got a big run in. I'm not quite 100%.
Especially the way Eddie Howe, when he's got someone who's fire and doesn't normally replace them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hello. The changes. Well, I'll let you continue with your thoughts on the rest of that lineup first.
Yeah, so that one, it seemed understandable to us. I was a bit surprised as well by the Miggy for
2
Murphy.
seconds, go pause there. I've got to let the cat out. And I'm back in the room. I had to let a cat out because it was whinging and whinging and whinging, and I love cats. Go on.
So yeah, I was a bit surprised by Murphy being dropped for Miggy Almiron. Mainly because he'd scored those 2 goals and that worldie goal, and I thought it was going to be very difficult for Miguel Almiron to try and find his way back into the team. He came, he brought him in. I wasn't too devastated by it, I must be honest. I looked at that and I thought to myself, oh no, we haven't like massively de-strengthened the team by bringing that in. But the one that really raised the eyebrows was probably Alexander Isak being replaced by Callum Wilson. Now, don't get us wrong, Callum Wilson came on in the last game and scored. If whenever either one of them has an injury, you're not disappointed, are you? Because you know you've got the other one to back it up. And what I want to say about Alexander Isak and Callum Wilson is what a massive erection I get when I think about the way that each one is pushing each other.
Yeah.
They're really fighting for that one spot. And did you watch the interview directly after the game with Callum Wilson?
Yeah.
And he was trying to play a few mind games himself, wasn't he? He was like, well, we can see that Isak does really well on the left, doesn't he? So with different types of players, I like to score those goals in the middle, but Isaac can have a massive impact in for the left. I thought, I see what you're doing there, Callum, and I respect it.
Well, a lot of it was obviously Eddie Howe's known Wilson's record against Everton, but I also think it is getting the fan base and getting the players used to squad rotation for next season when we almost certainly will be in the Champions League. I'm saying that now. I'm putting that on fucking record. Almost certainly be in the Champions League, and we'll be fighting on so many competitions, and we'll just be a force to be reckoned with, while Everton can watch from the fucking Championship. So yeah, that was our views on. I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter about them. I'm just can't stand them. Can't stand them. Anyway, so they were the lineups. Atmosphere looked cracking. Really, again, one of the ones I just really wanted to be there. Just watching our away support and fucking bravo to all our away fans, man. They're a canny little lot, aren't they? They're a lovely bunch. They just sing their hearts out to support the team. They don't cause any real bother unless it's provocated, but they don't go out looking for bother. They just go out to sing and get pissed and support the team. And in my mind,
take the tops off and take the tops off
and show their tits. That's what football's all about for me. Like that's what it should be about. Not about violence and gang wars and who's got the hardest fan base. It should be about on the pitch, you cheering on your team while they fucking annihilate the opposition and you gloat in their faces. And luckily for our away fan base, last night they were able to do that. And do that, they fucking did. So, kicking off, obviously we knew Everton were going to go full pelt. They had rallied them up. They were probably frightened if they didn't do well, they were going to come out and get stabbed. They were rallied up. And that first, 20, 25 minutes. They were right in the mix, weren't they?
There were, and when I was sitting watching it by myself, and what I do is I talk to myself when I'm by myself watching the
I know
game,
you
like
do.
this,
You talk
like
yourself
this,
to sleep.
like like there's somebody else there, and there's nobody there to answer us. But one of the
I know.
things I did say to myself is that the first
Kev,
20
you talk
minutes.
yourself at the match. At the match, I can hear you, like, even if other people, even if guys or the wifey who sits next to you, even if they aren't joining in with the conversation, you'll just keep. It's like you think what is it? What's he called? That, oh, save me memory. That commentator who retired for
Brad
Newcastle
Pitt.
was on Metro Radio. You think you're him. You think you're like because it's not on telly and we're actually watching it in real life. You think you have to be the commentator.
I kind of help myself. I'm getting old, Si, and
I
I'm
know.
so used to talking to myself, and I'm used to people not answering neither. So I'll continue to do it. But yeah, one of the things I did say to myself is that they're doing what we normally do. They had a decent high press.
Yeah.
They weren't really giving we any time on the ball. They weren't letting we get into any kind of flow. They weren't letting we put any sort of real moves together. When we were trying to play out from the back, they were closing we down, and it did cause we to give the ball away unnecessarily quite a few times, actually, from players that you wouldn't expect, i.e. Bruno Guimaraes give the ball away quite a few times. Kieran Trippier, it has happened a couple of times this season, but
Longstaff did.
Longstaff was giving the ball away.
That
So
was the
was
12th.
Miggy Almiron.
That was the 12th man in effect for them for that first opening period. 100%. I could see they were rattled. Our players were rattled to start with. If it had been an opposition who could finish, then it could have been another Brentford all over again. It could have been another Villa if the opposition could actually finish, but they can't.
Well, it's not even just the finishing side; it's the transition, isn't it? So when we do the high press and we get into a really good transition, we've got players that can move the ball left and right. We can work triangles. We can get the ball into the box. We've got players that can finish. Unfortunately, when they were putting the press on, and we were either making a mistake or they were winning the second ball, their transition just didn't have the same oomph or the same power. So it was a case of we were getting the ball back. You know, there was a few scares in there, but you looked at that and you thought to yourself, this isn't going to last for 90 minutes. And Newcastle weathered the storm, and that was exactly what they needed to do.
Well, they did. And on the 28th minute, Joe Linton had a shot. I think it was one of the first shots on target, like first real shots on target. Little Arms managed to get his little tiny graspers and parry it down. And then who was there to finish it off? Took it away in the back of the net. Hey, Callum Wilson. Ooh. 1-0 to the fucking tune.
Yeah, it was. And you've got to admit, it was probably a little bit against the run of play. We'd started kind of half knocking on the door without really doing anything that really scared them. But yeah, it was Miguel Almiron who picked the ball up on the right-hand side. He played a swinging ball out to Joe Linton. And he did that thing that I praised him for the other day. And this is why he's nice on the left-hand side. If you're going to make a run down the left-hand side and you're going to cut inside, get yourself into the box. The defenders absolutely shit themselves. And he managed to get a shot off from an acute angle. It was always going to be saved unless you're Hugo Lloris. But yeah, Pickford parried it out, and Callum Wilson was just where Callum Wilson is, ready to react, ready to poach, poked it in. And Eddie Howe said it himself after the game. That was a typical Callum Wilson goal. Thank you very much. 1-0.
Well, I mean, he did it against Tottenham as well when he went past three and got himself straight in the box. And he's a force to be reckoned with. Like I say, in my opinion, an elite player now, Joe Linton. Joe Linton, the past's gone. That Joe Linton is gone. Joe Linton is a future Brazilian trophy winner, in my opinion. And yeah, he did. He got himself back in the box, had a shot. Obviously, against Tottenham, it was Mourinho who finished, and this time it was Wilson. So he's doing that more and more. Joe Linton, his game is just improving and improving and improving. And is that another cat coming in the room? We'll pause there again. And we're back. That was cat number 2. We've got 2 cats because I love them so much. My wife and my daughter thought, oh, we'll get another one. We'll get another one.
What did you pay? What did you pay for your cat, Si?
Shut up, Kev. Right, so that they're special cats. They're Bengal cats because me and my son are allergic to normal cats. So these cats, there's something about this breed. Like they're intelligent and that, and but anyway, people who are allergic to cats aren't allergic to Bengals. I'm actually not. I wouldn't believe it. But Bengals, they're only attached to one person. So they both love my daughter, and everyone else in the house they think's a cunt. So you can't pet them, you can't go near them, you can't do anything with them. They're just a pointless nuisance in my life. But then I got my sausage dog Vinny, who loves me and he loves snuggles and he loves kisses and belly rubs and biscuits and morning toast. And their life is happy again. So yes, Joe Linton.
The equilibrium was resumed. Right.
Joe Linton.
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah, looking like elite player. So yeah, Wilson finishes it off 1-0, pressure off for a little bit. Everton didn't give up that first half. They didn't give up. And it pretty much stayed. I would say the balance switched where it became more 50-50 than what it was for the first half an hour. There was a few half chances on both sides, and it was on the stroke of half time. Literally, I think it was 47 minutes when Dominic Calvert-Lewin knocked one in, and I thought, oh, here we go, 1-1. I'm back in this for the second half. Then I don't know. Do I ever slag VAR off? I don't think I ever have. I love VAR. It's a bloody marvelous thing. It was offside, and I would have been furious for that offside, but it was. We escaped it.
Yeah, I've got to admit, and I think we all have to admit, we've got a bit of the rub of the green there. I remember it was on about 46 minutes. I thought to myself, right, just see it out, because if they get an equaliser here, the tails are going to be up going in, and you know what a goal just before half time can do. How often have you seen it where a team scores just before half time, get themselves back into it with a draw, come out the second half and score straight away again? It happens so often. And that thought was running from your head just as the ball got played through to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He was unlucky because he did try to hold his run. It wasn't lazy play. He was looking at the line, and it was the width of a pubic hair offside. Even when I was watching it, sometimes I can look at them and go, yeah, that's offside. That's offside. That one I was like,
Me too.
And the luck was on our side. So we managed to go in at half time with a 1-0 lead, which was, we weren't miles away from that. It probably flattered with slightly, but
Yeah.
it wasn't like we'd been battered by any stretch of the imagination.
No, not at all. So second half kicks off. The Everton fans were still into it. They were still thinking we could come back from this. The support was still there. They were willing their team on. But Joe Willoquinho, early in the first half, skipped straight past Ben Godfrey, sorry. Played one over. The inform, Joe Linton, headed it away, 2-0. And for me, that was game over. At that point, I knew that was game over.
Well, I mean, it was, and you mentioned Willock there.
Before that, but he had the shot. I forgot all that. He had that shot before that turn and that whip. That top corner would have been a spectacle.
And Willock had the life of Ben gone free, as I'm going to call him now, because he was just he went from the match in that second half. He may as well have not have been there. But even before that, there was a one where Joe Willock cut down the line, cut inside, got a shot away, and it was Tarkowski managed to slide in and get it away. The one that you were talking about, and I'm going to say it was Ginola-esque. He took a touch to control it. He was facing the wrong way, whipped himself round, hit a ball. It was curling round, and as much as it kills us to say, it was a good save from Jordan Pickford.
By little arms,
yeah, little arms. Luckily, it was close to his body, so he was able to save it. It wasn't too far away. But the actual goal again was down to Joe Willock. Some absolutely fantastic work on the left hand side. It leaves Ben Godfrey. Is it Ben Godfrey? It's Ben Godfrey, isn't it?
Ben Godfrey,
Yeah, Ben Godfrey left him for dust, puts a little ball dinks it over the top. And what I really liked about Joe Linton's goal is that there wasn't a great deal of pace on the actual ball itself. And he has to generate the pace himself by really getting into it like that. And I remember the Joe Linton of past. My uncle Tony, who's a legend by the way, used to say he's got a heel like a sheriff's badge. Him, which I thought was a difference on the old 50 pence piece. But he
Yeah.
never used to be a good header of the ball, and now he is. He's a good header of the ball. He heads it down into the ground, 2-0, and at that stage, you think to yourself, "That's it. They're not coming back from this.
Nah.
That's the second, and may as well be the final nail in the coffin."
Yeah, it would, because do you know what I mean? That's for them. They just haven't. They haven't got the ability, the talent. It's been proven all season. They just can't score goals, let alone come back from 2-0 down. And at that point, a few fans were starting to leave. And yeah, we knew that was, I knew that was it.
I think the Everton fans knew that was it as well.
They did.
That sort of atmosphere that they'd been creating, and like I say, I know you're unhappy with them, but there's 40,000 people inside the stadium, and there's not 40,000 arseholes. There's not, and the ones that are there for the right reasons did give it a good go and try to create a bit of a cauldron. And we've been there, Si. We've been there when Newcastle United, when you're down there fighting, and
Yeah.
it's not nice, and it's not a nice feeling.
It's awful.
And even when you try your best, once you go 2-0 down, you go, well, actually, do you know what it is? We've done our part.
Mm-hmm.
That now it doesn't matter how loud we are, what we do, and it's a sickener. And you don't want to stick around and watch the funeral of what is your team probably being down to the championship, unfortunately.
Lovely. Well, if they didn't know that the game was over, boy, they were sure about to, because Bruno drove through from right up the end of the pitch. He drove through, just lovely. Not the best run of the game. We'll come on to that later. He drove through, set up Wilson. Wilson, out of nowhere, just went, fuck this. All you bastards have been doing it. Fucking Murphy's been doing it. Right. I'm going to do it. Have fucking one of these. And just absolutely whacked it. Top corner, precision, magnificence. We have two of the best inform attackers in world football. And it was completely game over at that point, and it was bloody marvellous.
Knit one, pearl one, drop one, curl one. It was, so Bruno he picked it up in the middle, and he just had oceans and oceans of space, didn't he? Like,
Yeah.
the midfield, however good they were in the first half, just the gaps in that midfield, and it was so easy for him to walk through. And what you're expecting from Bruno Guimaraes is you're going to see somebody running from the right hand side, or somebody's going to make a run through the middle, and it was the perfect opportunity for him to play one of those killer balls for someone to slot it in. No, not this time. Sees Callum Wilson on the edge of the box, plays it into feet, and again the gap just opened up. It just opened up, and Callum Wilson talked about this after the game. He says he tried and practiced a couple of these in training. He says half of them went in, half of them didn't. And Eddie Howe said after the game that it wasn't a Callum Wilson goal. So that's very honest from the both of them. But on this particular night, it was a Callum Wilson goal, and I've watched it a couple of times, and I would say it was finish of the night.
Oh, yeah.
But possibly not goal of the night for different reasons.
We'll come on to that in just a moment, because when it was 3-0, I'd been on Twitter, obviously, tweeting a lot during it. And that Ant and Deck meme came into my head, and I thought, I have to do a little meme. Now, you don't want us to get into this, but I'm getting into it.
This is the real reason you're angry, Si, isn't it? This is the
reason. I've done this.
He's brought it on the screen.
I've done this meme, which it's the old Ant and Deck meme, but it just says, okay, Eddie, now bring Gordon on. Right, not exactly the most high level of wit, the most multi-layered depth joke you'll ever get, right? But funny nonetheless. Magpie 24/7 obviously saw it straight after, copied it, added an extra word in. Instead of just retweeting, right, They just copied it, stole it. They've got a much bigger fan base, much larger following, and got like their most popular tweet. So do you know what I mean? Also, Newcastle Fans TV copied it. Again, not putting credit on, and put it on Facebook. That is their most popular Facebook thingy with over 5,000 likes. You know, and people saw. Because I come from the comedy world, stand-up comedy, joke theft is like a no-no. It's like you just don't do it. Like if you're gonna do it, like you share it or retweet it and you give someone credit, right? Now, credit Newcastle Fans TV. I did have a word, and someone else had a word with them, and says, look, you could just, give credit if you didn't come up with that. Even though, yeah, it's easy. It's people go, oh, it's easy to come up with. It was an easy joke. Yeah, it was an easy joke, but you didn't come up with it. You didn't think of it. All jokes are easy. Do you know what I mean? All jokes are easy, but if you didn't come up with it, you didn't come up with it. So fair play to Newcastle Fans TV. They did then give me credit for the joke. So thank you to the team, Newcastle Fans TV. I know, again, you might not think it's a big deal, but for me, as a stand-up comic that used to be my career, that was my bread and butter. Joke theft was like a proper frowned upon no. Okay, but so I tweeted. Well, as you say, I showed you there, the Magpie 24/7. I put you could have at least retweeted it instead of just nicking it, and they haven't replied or done anything. Said, oh no, okay, then we'll give you credit or nothing. They've just ignored every message, and they're also YouTubers. These two here also just go across. These two here are also YouTubers. So fucking YouTube beef starting right now, Kevin. Used to unfunny cunts with your shit fucking channel and your wag patter. Next time, give us credit or we'll have an issue.
Do you feel better after that?
I feel a lot better after that, Kevin. Yeah, thank you.
Better after that. Well,
I'm
Si,
just
I
joking.
wouldn't get too upset. Some people create, some people plagiarize, some people lead, some people follow. So yeah, well done. And what I really loved about that whole rant was Ant and Dec's face.
Yeah.
When you were having that,
I get how ridiculous and how petty it'll seem to a lot of people. But if you're not part of that, like I've wrote for other comics, wrote material for other comics and been paid well for doing so because I haven't always got the voice to deliver certain materials. So I've wrote comedy for people that you see on TV. Not a lot, but I have. I've wrote for some of them. I've done various other things where comedy writing has paid the bills since I can no longer do live work, and it's just because I come from that industry, it's just bad crack. Just retweet it. Just retweet it. Do you know what I mean? You're still going to get likes on your page. It's just if you don't, then the smaller pages, you're just nicking that crack, and then we're not getting any followers off the back, and you're getting the most popular, funny thing you've had on your page because you've got absolutely shit patter and can't come up with your own jokes. Do you know what I mean? Just share it. But I will say, massive shout out to Mouth of the Tyne on Twitter, who's one of the huge pages, who does always share the content, never steals, and is a proper sound and approachable guy. Also has a YouTube channel, and he's massive. He could have just stole it. He didn't. He shared it. So fucking shout out Mouth of the Tyne. Good lad. Thank you. And shout out Newcastle Fans TV for giving me credit afterwards. I'm done, Kevin. Done.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm not. Do you know what it is? In all seriousness, I get where you're coming from, but don't worry about it because if people pinch your crack or our crack, we'll just come up with new and better crack because it's our crack, isn't it? You know what I mean? That's what we do. That's what we do. That bastards. Should we get back to the football?
Yeah, noises, Kevin. Very much noises. Yeah, so we were 3-0 up. Posted a viral tweet that got stolen, and then so Dwight McNeil took a corner which missed to Corey and somehow went in past Pope to make it 3-1. What did you make of that one?
Yeah, they scored. Let's move on.
That's all that needs to be said. They knew it was merely a little talk, and they knew they were not getting back in, especially not when Eddie Howe went, Alex, are you ready? And he went, okay, let's go. And Alexander Isak and inform Jacob Murphy. Come on, that's not what any team 3-1 down want to see, is it? No team in the league want to see Alexander Isak and Jacob Murphy coming on when they're 3-1 down. But they came on for Miggy and Wilson. And right. After the Tottenham game, I rewatched that first 20 minutes so many times. The official Newcastle United Twitter, YouTube channel put out just the first 20 minutes. And I think it's got like nearly 200,000 views. I must have been responsible for a quarter of those views. It was just on fucking loop, on loop, on loop. And this next bit of play, I've probably watched the same amount of times. So Isak gets the ball on the left and he starts having a run. He takes it past one or two. You're going, oh, it's fucking lovely from Isak, that. Wow, look at him. Oh, he can do more than just knock goals in. He can. I was like, what the fuck? He's keep going, lad. He's still going. He got down to the corner. You're like, right, what's he going to do now? Is he going to whip it in? He's going to whip it in. He's surrounded by blue shirts. What's he going to do? I'm fucking Alexander Isak. I'm just going to run at them. So he runs at them, almost like the ball is glued to his fucking magical feet. He takes all of them and he keeps going and he keeps going and he keeps going and he gets to the fucking goal post with the ball. You think, what the fuck's happening here? And then he just plays a ball. Oh, there's about 3 players that could have finished it off. And he plays the ball across goal. And Wilson's at the far post. But who comes bounding in to fucking finish off that magnificent one? Jacob Murphy knocks it in, makes it 4-1. My word, that goal was absolutely ridiculous. That assist, which wasn't given, by the way, as an assist because it took a deflection, which is FPL. Shame on you, fantasy football. I had Isak in my team, you bastards. But, oh, Kev, that goal. I'll let you. I'm sure you want to add something.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much more I can add. Yeah, when he picks it up on the halfway line on the left-hand side, he's running down. You're thinking, what's he going to do? He's going to take it to the corner, waste a bit of time, just conceded a goal. No, he takes it inside. And I know you said he takes the players on. Well, he does. He takes it past the player, decides to rewind it a bit, go back, beat that same player again, trickle it in between 2 other players, and you're like, oh, well, the ball's going out for a goal kick. Nice try. Oh, no. Oh, no. Keeps it in, puts the ball across, and by the way, if it hadn't have felt to Jacob Murphy and he put it in, it was a penalty.
Wilson.
Well, no, it was a penalty because it was Tarkowski. The reason it wasn't an assist is because the ball's going across and Tarkowski elbows it right into the path of Murphy, who just slots it home. So if Murphy hadn't put it in, it was a definite penalty. There's no two ways about that.
I made a mistake. Isak didn't come on for Wilson, did he? Were they on the pitch together, weren't they?
Yeah, they were on the pitch together. Yeah, it doesn't matter. The euphoria kicks inside. It was an exciting game. Yeah. We can forgive you. Yeah. So yeah, and it was the icing on the cake, so to speak. Now, you know, we talked about, and everybody's talked about, and the world's talked about the fact that Newcastle United scored 5 goals in 20 minutes. Well, we nearly scored 5 goals in 20 minutes again this weekend because it was 70 minutes. 70 minutes, it was 1-0. It was 1-0. So we scored 3 goals. We had that one that was disallowed, which we're going to go on to with Shaw.
Let's go straight into it. Fabian Shaw, Thunderbolt, a Shaw classic. Big Dan Burn, offside.
It was offside. And at the time, I didn't think he'd get a touch on it. And I was waxing lyrical on the text to you, saying, well, if he hasn't touched the ball and he's offside, then how was Rashford onside when he did it? But when I've watched it back, it hits off his head. So I was talking shite on that one. And it's a shame because it was a really nice finish, a curler again. Yeah, you know what I'm like at the match, right? One of my pet hates is when somebody gets the ball and they're about 40 yards out and they've got 8 men in front of them and
everyone goes
shoot. It just I'm just like, well, why?
One funny thing I didn't mention. I forgot to mention after the Tottenham game, it was when we were 3-0 up in 2 minutes, whatever it was. And the ball gets played back to Nick Pope. And then you just hear loads of people going, shoot! That's what I live for. I live for these moments, Kev. Like, I love that crap like that at the match. And
Well,
I got to mention
well,
that.
yeah, no, that was funny. But on this occasion, Fabian Shaw picked the ball up, and everybody shouted shoot. And I was one of the people this time. I was going shoot because it just opened up, and he did a lovely curling shot, lovely curling shot. And it was just, you've got to admit, at the time when they were watching it, when I was watching it on TV, the commentator said, "How far back do you take it?" It
Yeah, I
wasn't
know.
that. It wasn't that far back. It was offside when the ball came in,
Yeah.
and the goal pretty much came directly after that. But then after that again, Jacob Murphy missed a bit of a sitter,
Yeah.
and I'm sitting there thinking, bloody hell, we've just nearly got 5 goals in 20 minutes again.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it finished 4-1, but it could have been another 6-1 easily.
Mm-hmm.
Easily could have been another 6-1. And yeah, I think that sealed Everton's fate to the championship. I hope it demoralized them and took every little bit they had left, every little bit of passion. I hope they've wasted all the little blue smoke bombs, and all that little energy, and all that frustrations, and all that anger talk. I hope it's all gone now, and they're consigned to the fact they're going to be playing in the second division of English football where they belong.
Amen. So yeah, that's it. And in all seriousness, I cannot see them getting out of it now. Nottingham Forest did us a favour when they played the night before. We repaid the favour back, and like I've said a few times in this video, a little soft spot for Nottingham Forest. Really like to see them get out of it, and I think they just might do now.
I think they will. Well,
I think
Everton
they
have
just
got to
might do.
play it's Leicester, Bournemouth, Wolves, another team, I can't remember who, in Man City.
Ouch.
Yeah. Ouch
Yeah.
indeed.
Ouch. Ouch. And more importantly, Si, it hasn't sealed our fate, but it's put we're in a very nice position to be very close to sealing it this very Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, so we are sitting in third, remaining third. We have Man United have a game in hand on us, but they only have 2 points. They're 2 points behind us. Is that what I mean? Is that what I mean to say?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. So they've got a game in hand, they're 2 points behind us, and the team I'm concerned about, and it sounds ridiculous. The team I'm concerned about when I look at their running,
Villa.
and I've got it. No, Liverpool. And it pains us to say that.
Mm.
I don't know that they just seem to be putting a run together, and I look at their running, and they could possibly win every game on the way in. So I think 71 points does it.
Mm-hmm.
So we need another 9 points, in my opinion. And I know if they win every game on the way in, that'll change the goal difference. I still don't think it'll be enough. I think Newcastle United need 3 wins to be playing in the Champions League. Let that sink in, Si. Let that sink in.
I know.
Let that sink in. 3 wins.
Well, if any team you want to play next, you'd probably say bottom of the league at home would be nice. It just so happens this Sunday we're playing bottom of the league Southampton, who did put up one hell of a performance against Arsenal, who coincidentally is our next home fixture. After that, or is it Leicester? Or is Leicester away?
No, I believe it's Arsenal.
It's Arsenal. So yeah, I'm confident. I am confident, and I'm not always supremely confident, but I am confident.
I'm confident, but not complacent neither. Well, should I say? I hope that the team aren't complacent because listen, at the end of the day, this is the Premier League. I'm sure Arsenal were confident when they went in against them and got a 3-3 draw. Oh no, sorry, Tottenham, sorry, and they got a 3-3 draw. You can't be complacent in this league, and I know Eddie Howe won't allow them to be complacent.
No,
he puts games to bed as quickly as they won. He'll give himself a little moment, and he'll be concentrating on Southampton. But we, as a fan base as well, can't be complacent. What I don't want is a bunch of fans turning up to the ground on Sunday, being like, it's just Southampton, we're going to win.
I don't think we will. I don't think we will because of their performance against Arsenal and the fact of how much is raining on it, and the fact we as a fan base aren't used to this. We are used to the old Newcastle United of the last 14, 15 years, where we think, well, it's been a good run. We're going to fuck it up at some point. You know what I mean? I don't think we've got out of that mentality yet.
And I don't think we should do yet. I think because that's what separated with this season. We haven't become complacent. We haven't taken it for granted. And just because it's Southampton and just because the bottom of the league, we can't do that. Anyways, I'm saving this for the next video.
Which, funnily enough, we'll probably be wearing the same clothes.
Oh no, I'm changing my top.
Oh, yeah. Right, well, fuck it. I'll change my top as well then. We might not be wearing the same clothes.
It'll definitely be a different day though.
But it will 100% be a different day, and it won't be in 2 minutes' time. But yeah, if you've liked the video, if you could please hit like on the video so that Toon fans can see it. Hit subscribe. We are on the march still to 1K. If you could comment below with what your views were of the Everton game. I'm sure you've got views of the Everton game. Please comment below with your opinions. Shout out again to Mouth of the Tyne on Twitter and YouTube. Shout out to NFTV for realizing that, should credit the joke. Big fuck off to Magpie 24/7 who can suck it. And we will see you next time. See you later.
Come on.